All right.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Hey, good day, everyone. Glad to see so many of you can make this webcast today. Um, Today we want to discuss with you how to recession-proof your construction business using cloud technology. And it's brought to you today by the Answer Company and Acumatica. So before we get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Derek Lildar. I'm the VP for sales for the Answer Company. And we also have Darren Reddy's here, our director for pre-sales and solution design with the Answer Company. And we're going to be talking to you about industry challenges, some of the industry challenges that your businesses like yours are facing, and how we can utilize technology to help you solve some of those problems. We're going to focus on the Acumatica Construction Edition, which will include a demonstration of the product. I'll also let you know how the Answer Company can be your trusted partner that can help you through this digital transformation that you may be going through today. And last, we will be opening it up for questions, and we will have some of our colleagues join us today to address some of your questions. At this point, I would like to pass it on to Darren, and Darren's going to talk to you a bit about the challenges you're facing today. Darren?
Thanks so much, Derek. Yeah, we didn't want anybody to be too cheery, so we thought we'd start off with the depressing stuff here and talk about all the challenges that probably most of you are very keenly aware of. But really, we want to just take a look at some of the pressures that we know companies like yours are facing. And then we'll think about some of the strategies that we've seen our customers use to get through this. Certainly, this isn't the first time we've seen challenges like this, and how companies are not only surviving, but thriving actually through this process. So we'll start by just looking at what's going on in the industry and talk about strategies. And then we will go into how you can use a cloud solution, and specifically how the Acumatica Construction Edition fits into that strategy. So the first one we thought we'd talk about is the inflationary pressures that are going on right now. So the chart that we've got up right now goes up to Q2 of 2022. This is taken from the Canadian Construction Association, and it's looking at the BCPI, or Building Construction Price Index. And we do acknowledge, that there has been some prices that have come down since this. Certainly, we've seen lumber prices come down significantly in the last bit. But nonetheless, we see here, a very sharp spike. It's gone up, and we know that these inflationary prices are continuing. And when you take a look at the actual number here, we're talking about almost 20% in the cost of non-residential building construction over the last 2 years. So clearly, huge pressure on the industry as a result. One of the other key ones we've been facing, and this one's really somewhat separate from the recession, but certainly is an environmental factor that's been causing huge problems, is the labor shortage we've been facing. And while construction is not unique in facing this labor shortage, what is a little bit unique is that construction seems to be lagging in terms of its ability to recover. So when we take a look at other labor competing industries, we look at some of our customers in things like transportation and warehousing. By the end of August of 2021, most of them had recovered their jobs that had been lost due to the pandemic restrictions, where construction has failed to recover about 20% of the jobs lost. And one of the key stats that we've got is that in July, there was 81,565 vacant positions. And that means that there's an 8.5% vacancy right now across the industry. So again, construction sector continues to have a higher than average job vacancy rate compared to other economic sectors. And again, I don't think this is shocking to anyone. We know how hard it's been to get skilled tradespeople. And when we add to that hiring costs, and we know what it costs to bring someone in, and again, this is the number that we're seeing is hiring costs typically 1.25 to 1.4 times an annual salary. So really one of the key things that we're kind of driving at here is that need to retain your workforce, and just the cost of turnover to the organization is just a bit of a killer. So now after all the doom and gloom, we will move forward in terms of some of the ways that we see people beating some of these economic challenges in. So the first slide that we've got here in terms of strategies on this, in some ways there's a lot of overlap, pardon me, between these. As we're talking about reducing admin costs, reducing overhead costs, and streamlining processes to do more with less. And obviously, as you streamline your processes, you do reduce the number of people that you're needing to do things. There's also a time factor that can affect you in other ways. We'll dive into that a little bit more. But and there's also the potential of reducing your admin costs just by working a little bit smarter. We'll talk about how we see companies doing that as well. But really, what we're talking about is when we see these huge increases in our costs, what can we do to still keep our, what can we do to actually go and bring down costs in other areas and to still remain competitive? We may not have the ability to just be pushing up the price of our projects. So there's, again, a key area that we're looking at, and again, that this does start to have some connection to that previous slide. One of the big things that we take a look at as we're trying to get through a recession like this is that need for positive cash flow and liquidity. And really, this is just really the key one that we're seeing companies needing to stay on top of in order to weather through this. So what does that mean? Well, again, with a little bit of the doom and gloom on here, what we're seeing is the average payment cycle is 73 days in the construction industry. So already a tough one right there when we're taking a look at AR. Now, if we add on top of that, the other number that I can throw at you is when we take a look at companies that are generating their invoices manually, we're seeing that it frequently takes up to 6 weeks just to generate invoices. So if you're doing it in less than 6, there you go. You're already beating a lot of your competitors. But obviously, we take 6 weeks to generate invoices, and then we've got over another 2 months, before we're going to get paid. Huge impact on the cash flow. So what can we do to combat that? Well, one of the things is we've got to obviously streamline that invoice generation, and we'll take a look at how we can do that. There's also the opportunity, though, here to do some forecasting and looking at forecasting and collection. So, when we're relying on financing done in stages of the project, being able to really tell, can you cover your expenses by your progress on the site, and looking at ways that we can collect cash beforehand on this, having that cost forecasting, the breakdown on the budget broken down, being able to cost against your budgeted cost, and take a look at how the money's going to be spent through the project. There's also some things that we're seeing starting to explore, and some of these are a little bit more common in the US, but certainly there's a potential for doing some of this in Canada. One of those is doing preliminary invoicing. So knowing that there's going to be a delay, what's the possibility of going and getting a preliminary invoice issued just before we're going to be sending this out, to striking that warning, and to start seeing if we can get a little bit more urgency behind this. The other thing that we've seen some companies start to explore is factoring companies as well too. And while we don't want to be giving up revenue, when we take a look at that 73 days of a payment cycle that's so common out there, when there's the opportunity to recover up to 95% in more like 20 to 40 days, then this can start to make sense as well. So Factoring fees, typically looking at 1 to 5% of the total invoice for every 30 days it takes the customer to pay. But again, this can be a way to get through a bit of a liquidity crisis then as well. So again, continuing on this idea of being able to take a look at where we're at and what's going on, and to try to look a little bit into what's about to happen. Really, it does come down to creating and then maintaining accurate budgets and change orders. So being able to see where we're at all times. And really what we're talking about here is making it easy for you as you and your project managers are going through and being able to see exactly what's happening. And again, there's often a delay in information here. We know that often, we have people operating separate systems, often manual systems. Things are needing to be transcribed, brought in. Those delays, then, by the time you're actually able to take a look at this, it's kind of too late then to be able to take action. So what we're looking at is how can we, again, streamline, looking at that earlier slide, and with the goal of just speeding up that information, knowing that you need to be able to see this quickly so that you can make those decisions and start to take action. One of the mistakes that we've seen companies make over the years and in some of the past downturns is trying to rely on backlogs and just wanting to caution you. We enter into downturn and kind of go, okay, we've got a 12-month backlog anyway. That's fine. We can eat into that a little bit, but over and over again, we see those backlogs just vanishing during the downturn. So it really, all of a sudden those projects are being canceled. That backlog just evaporates. So it tells us that we need to keep on marketing. And one of the big things that we're looking at is how to play where you win. And we'll talk a little bit more about that too, especially as we get into some of the product. One of the keys, obviously, as things get more competitive, is really focusing on outstanding customer service. So what are some of the ways that we can do that, and how can a system help us to focus on customer service? So one of the things, and I should say, it's not just customer service, it's also that relationship with your subs as well, with your subcontractors. We know how important that is. And how important it is to keep that relationship healthy. And then it's the quality communication with your team that allows that. So what we need is something that's going to help us keep really consistent communications with the customer, really consistent, up-to-date communications with the subcontractors, and something that allows us to be getting this from the team that's out there working on these projects as well. So how can we make sure that they're aware of everything that's pertinent, and how can we make sure that everything that they're seeing comes back to the office quickly, and again allows us to go in and take action if we need to. So we're also seeing that the change orders can be more profitable than the prime contract, and fairly frequently this is coming up. So with that being said, again, not that this is just something that's true during recession times, but absolutely, we are seeing companies maybe look a little bit more for the upsell. Just knowing that this is probably one of the big ways they can help the profitability of their projects as well. So play where you win. I mentioned this before, and again, as we look at reducing costs and streamlining, I think a lot of us try to go with the adage that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but we need to recognize too, there's a cost to going and bidding on everything. And, are you keeping on additional estimators? How much time is being spent on going and, swinging for the fences all the time? When, if you take a look at, the type of job, that your ratio of wins in that area is really low. So it comes down to really knowing, first of all, where do we win? And how can we take a look and understand, what types of jobs are the ones, first of all, that we frequently manage to close, and what are the ones that are the most profitable? Is there some work that, maybe it's just marginal, and again, we're just incurring a bunch of costs for this. And at this point, with the kind of pressures that we're talking about, it just doesn't make sense. So obviously, what we need then is to have something that shows us where do we win. And again, we've talked about this a couple of times, knowing exactly what the profitability is on a project and being able to take a look at that in real time. So some of the common construction challenges we see with technology that are out there is, first of all, the silos existing between the accounting and field operations. And this is what we're talking about in terms of solving by having that real-time ability to communicate back and forth. We need to know what's going on both sides. We need to really smooth out that information flow. And that really, means then smoothing out the flow across the entire organization. When it doesn't flow between departments, when it doesn't flow between accounting and the field, we know how much the business suffers. And not having that information flow then starts to impact being able to determine which projects are actually profitable as well. So the visibility on labor costs, obviously this is one of the most expensive variable components on a project. We need to have this in real time. We need to be able to take a look at this, and we need to start eliminating all of these external systems. Sometimes we try to do a little bit of redneck engineering and try to bring this stuff together. But more often than not, there's just a lot of manual data entry that's going on. And so first of all, there's the slowdown and getting the stuff in. There's the extra work, and there's also a lot of errors that tend to creep in when that's happening as well. And really, these problems that we're talking about, these challenges, are typically associated with older technology. You don't see the same kind of transparency, you don't see the kind of access, and you don't have the ability to scale and continue to make improvements with an older system like that, that we do see with a newer cloud solution. So to sort of look at the other side of this, then what we're looking as solutions to those challenges and what we're trying to accomplish and what we see our customers working to do then is, first of all, to connect the field personnel with the back office and the project managers, making sure that they can, first of all, report in and get that information quickly, and that they can also get information back quickly as well. So later on today, we're going to take a look at this on a phone, mobile device, to get a little bit of an idea of what this looks like as well. We need to make sure that we're capturing all costs and all change orders and being able to take a look across that. So, it's fine, when we go and we do an estimate, we've got that flowing into the project, but we need to then make sure that we're managing against that. And as every change request comes through and gets made into a change order, or do we have a way to really seamlessly bring that in? Can we see how we're doing against the overall budgeted amounts? Timesheets, they need to flow smoothly and accurately into the project. And while we don't have a bullet point for this, when we think about retaining the workforce, the other part of the timesheets is they need to smoothly and accurately flow into payroll as well. So we're going to try and take a real quick look in terms of both of those, because obviously we need those timesheets just to be coming through into all areas quick and easy. As I said, understand where you win, where you're profitable, reduce unnecessary spending and bidding on those long shot projects, and just ensuring that thorough and quality communication with team members, customers, and making sure that you really are providing the best possible customer service. So at this point, we'd like to switch gears a little bit, and first of all, introduce you to Acumatica. So I'm going to pop this back to Derek for a little bit, and then we'll jump into the product in a few minutes.
Thanks, Darren. Yeah, so like Derek says, I'm going to talk a bit about the solution itself, Acumatica, which is a solution that's designed for the construction industry. Digital transformation is what Acumatica has been doing over the decades, over a decade now, bringing really enterprise-grade solutions to mid-market businesses. Acumatica has become a technology leader in the construction industry space, utilizing modern technologies to transform businesses like yours. Now, on top of using modern technology, one of the things we have to do in this industry is change the way we think, and the way we adopt new process and new technologies. So those are some of the things you need to keep in mind as we consider new technologies for your business. So Acumatica, over the years, Acumatica has been ranked the highest in usability. If you look at the study by Nucleus Research, Acumatica's modern UI and flexible workflows are why Acumatica is consistently ranked highest in the usability by the Nucleus Research, also including G2 Crowd. It is also noted that it is the highest in customer satisfaction by Gartner in the Magic Quadrant for cloud financial applications. Acumatica allows you to connect your field services and remote workers in real time with cloud, mobile construction, and accounting software. The Acumatica Constructions Edition provides unparalleled construction depth with the extensive suite of connected business applications for project management, labor, budget, and scheduling needs, making it a single source for the truth for your business. Embedded integration. So a lot of us out there have a lot of tools that we use, or you're probably looking to use a few different tools. And your business may be using a set of tools today or looking for a specific set of tools that you want integrated to your financial system. With Acumatica, you can take advantage of the cloud integration that already exists with a lot of these solutions out there, like Procore, like ProWest, CFMA, Benchmark, Microsoft Office, DocuSign, if you're using that today, and many others that you might want to use or may consider using in the future. When it comes to construction industry, Acumatica supports many areas, from general contractors to subs and everything in between. And you can see a list of different areas there that Acumatica does very well. So some of those, if you are in one of those spaces, Acumatica is definitely a solution you want to consider. Okay, at this point here, I'm going to pass it over back to Darren, and Darren's going to walk you through a demonstration of the product.
Great, thanks, Derek. Just give me one moment, and I'm going to switch to the demonstration system. Just get everything running here. All right, everything's coming through okay, Derek?
Looks great.
Excellent, thanks. So I'm not going to spend a whole ton of time talking about the interface that's here for Acumatica. We're just going to sort of jump right into the product more than anything else. But obviously, you'll get a little bit of a feel for the navigation as I'm going through this. So it is a role-based system, and with a highly configurable interface. I've taken one that's set up already out of the box for a construction project manager, and then just tweaked it a little bit for some of the things that are important to me. I'm not going to go through everything that I've got on here, but you will see right away that first of all, we've got some KPIs shown in cards. The color coding on there is again something that will set certain thresholds, and so you can see things like lead project tasks are coming up for me in red. Some of the things like active projects are being shown in green, and we've talked a lot about things like profitability. You can see that on my project manager screen, I've included a quick project summary as well. where I can see at any time exactly what my projects are doing in terms of the estimates, where we're at, and what our costs are that we've captured so far. So as I said, highly configurable in terms of what you show here. These widgets that we're looking at, inquiries, that sort of thing, they are updated usually every few minutes. You can set the frequency in terms of how frequently it's looking back at the database. And every time we're seeing a hyperlink here that is, blue text that's underlined, it means that I'm going in and jumping in here. So it's not that this is just an inquiry screen for me to look at, and then I've got to navigate through the project. I can actually use this for navigation. So with that being said, I'm going to jump into one of the projects. So a couple of ways that I could access this. You can see I've got the project highlighted in terms of things where I've got a ball in court. Also, the project summary, I can go to the active projects. Different ways that I can choose to get in and dive into these projects a little bit more. I'm just going to go into the summary listing of my project expense versus budget. So again, this one's been configured to include some columns that give me a little bit of an idea of what's going on financially with the project. And then I can go in and go directly into that project to get the details by just clicking on the project itself. So I'm going to take one here, which is a construction project for a hotel that's underway. And we'll take a look at some of the key information that really addresses some of the topics we've been talking about so far. So first of all, you'll notice that in the top right corner, once again, we're emphasizing again, looking at where are we at in terms of income, where are we at for expenses, what's the margin that we're looking at on this. So the summaries we've got configured to show this, and right at the top of the project, we see that actual income, expenses, and margin here right away too. In terms of some of the things that are going to impact, pardon me, some of the other topics that we're going to look at is, first of all, you can see in about the middle left here, my retainage. So we've got this set right now. We can see the total retained amount that we can go and claim at the end of the project. And with that retainage being set there, it's going to flow into the billing. We'll take a look at that billing as well in terms of how that fits into the processes and the streamlining here. And then the billing rule that's been assigned to this too. So this particular project being set to progress billing, the billing rules are completely configurable as well too. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time looking at those right now, but there are a number of those that come out of the box, and then they can be configured to whatever your requirements are. Couple of key tabs that I'd really would like to touch on for today. And again, I'm not going to go through every tab on a project. You can see that there's a lot here that we're not going to cover. But for today's purposes, we're first of all going to take a look at the revenue budget and the cost budget. So you'll see that the way we've gone and set up this project is we are budgeting out to the project task. So the way that you budget this is, again, up to you. You'll see that on the project properties here, I can say, well, how do I want to budget out my revenue? How do I want to budget out my cost? So while my cost budget is right now done to task and cost code, it could be right down to the task item and cost code. Depending on what you're setting on those project properties, then you're going to go and fit these into your revenue and cost budget. A little while from now, I'm going to take a look as well at some of the project quoting. And what you'll see is that revenue budget and cost budget is potentially just flowing straight in from your estimates into these projects. So again, eliminating potentially an area where there's some rekeying going on right now. If we go to the balances tab, it's a quick P&L that we've got available then to go and take a look at what's going on for this project. I'm just going to expand one of my columns slightly here. And the columns that we've got here show you and then how we're bringing together information, not only from that original budget, but what's actually been gone through in terms of change orders, and also some potential change orders that are there as well. So if we've already started to put some change requests out there, but they haven't been converted to change orders, we can already be starting to capture that and see the potential impact to that. So this is what we were talking about earlier, is really the need to be able to bring all of this together. And as I was saying before, bringing it through in real time, showing you the effect of those change orders in terms of the income and the expenses for this project. And obviously, this is like a summary P&L. And while you don't see any hyperlinks on here, there is the ability from within Acumatica to go into all of the details on this as well. So I'm going to just highlight the materials for this, because you can see that we've already bought, pardon me, quite a few materials for this project. And then there's two buttons that are available to me up on the top: view transactions and view commitment details. So if I click on the view commitment details, because there's purchase orders for materials here, just give us a moment to pop up. What's going to show up here now is a list of all purchase orders that have been issued, that have been summarized in that line. So now I can see all of the details. I can expand the screen and take a look. You can see exactly the cost code that each of these has gone to. I could filter out by those if I wanted to, using the buttons up at the top. Or if I'd like to just actually see that PO that went through and I was interested in some of the details, again, these are hyperlinks. So now I can just go into that first purchase order, bring that up, and take a look at exactly what was issued and what went through the project, and how this happened to be impacting. My apologies here. I'll just give us a moment to load, though. And now we can see exactly what was purchased and what's showing up here. If you're wondering why we're seeing some text in red and yellow, Acumatica will go and give you alerts that for projects, for any potential problems that could be going on. If I mouse over this, what you'll see is it pops up and tells me, why am I warning you about this? And it's saying that we've got some expired compliance documents on here. So while that's not really the focus of today's webinar, we're not going to get into it. Again, it just illustrates how Acumatica is looking with a construction edition to keep you on top of everything that's associated with the management of this project. And so while I went and I was taking a look at materials, the same thing then can be done. So as I'm looking at, subcontractor expenses, again, I could go in, drill into this, see exactly, all of those subcontract purchase orders that have gone out. We can see the equipment expenses. I can see even the invoices that have been issued, all by taking a look from the balances tab. And then just clicking in and looking at the transactions associated with it. So very quickly, not only can I see exactly what's happening with the project, but I can also go in and do any reconciliation if I think that there's an issue and something's been done in error on this as well, too. All right. Going to switch here, but we're going to stay within the product for a little bit here. What I'd like to take a look at now is, I mentioned having the timesheets flowing smoothly and accurately. So first of all, having that time flow through in against the project so that we're seeing that cost, we can take a look. But then also, as I said, you need to make sure your employees are getting paid on time. So having that flow through easily then to payroll as well. So the time and expenses that's associated here. And again, I'm not going to go through all of this, but we'll just take a quick look at a couple of pieces here. So time being captured either through the employee time activities or for the employee time card. And from here, then we can go and capture in time for, first of all, just for work that's being done against projects, field service appointments, as we're having to go through if there's any follow-up items that we're needing to do. And I mean, the time activities can actually include things that are outside as well too. So, where we're guaranteeing somebody, got 40 hours a week, even if they haven't recorded it, we've got mechanisms in place for that as well. Time that's captured can be billable or not billable, because anything that is billable is going to flow through to the project. We can see the cost against the project for anything that's tagged against it. And all of this is going to flow through to payroll as well, too. So on that last project, then we'll open up a project again in a little while. We can see in terms of the labor line in that balances tab is going to show all of this. And then we need to have this continue forward. I thought we'd just take a look at an employee time card to get an idea of what this looks like. And then we can talk about how this flows to payroll, though. So I'm just going to jump into the employee time card, and we'll start by getting a list of time cards, and then we'll look at a specific one. So rather than clicking on a new time card, we'll just bring up an existing one here. And I'm just going to type in somebody who's doing a fair bit of work on projects. And rather than going and looking at one that's pending approval, you can see this is typically how this is going to be coming through. Somebody's going to go in and enter the time, then it is going to get approved and go through. We'll just take one that's already flown through, already gone through the system here. So let's just go ahead and we'll take a look at Jordan Kinlear's time card here. And what you can see is now we can see that the project and the task code, the cost code for that matter, that he's then recorded his time against. We see that time card that's going through. So weekly time card, it's a time Monday through Friday that's going through exactly what everything has been recorded against. And as I said, the approval on this one has already been approved. At any time, I can go in and take a look and see who approved this. So in this case, this has been approved by Maxwell Baker. And so upon that approval, then this is going to flow through against the project as well, too. And it's going to be eligible for pay at that point as well. So let's take a quick look and see how that does get brought into the payroll. And so if I go to the payroll batches at this point, and it's prompting me to update my tax information, but I'm going to skip that for right now. So I'll choose to add a new record here. And now there's a couple of things that I'm going to pick to start out with. So the first thing I've got to pick is what's my pay group. So I'll pick that this is a construction weekly, and then I'm going to pick the pay period, and I'm going to backdate this a little bit so that we can see some. And at this point, if I go ahead and click on the add employees and then click at the import time activities, that's all it's going to take then to go in and bring in everything. And at this point, we can see that all of this has already been brought through to payroll, which is again why Acumatica lets me know, yeah, there's activity in this period, but you've already done the payroll for this. But that's all there is to bringing in those time cards then once they've been approved right into payroll. I'm just getting a bit of a time reminder here. So I'm going to try to move things forward a little bit quicker. There are a couple of items that we'd still like to touch on specific to some of the challenges that we spoke to. So I will just take a quick look right now, first of all, at the billing, because I did indicate that that average of 60 days to prepare when being done manual. Obviously, a big problem then when we see the lengthy time to get paid on these as well. So Before, when we clicked into one of these projects, what you could see is that we're setting the type of billings, whether this is time and materials or progress. We're setting the retainage for this. All of that information flows through. In this case, I brought up this MEP job that's going through MEP at a restaurant. We've got the 10% retainage set, and this one is set as a progress billing. And this can either be done in batch mode, or you can do this just on a project by project basis. It's up to you. But if we click on the run project billing, that's really all there is to do in order to go in and create an invoice. And it will create this, first of all, in a status that it can still be modified. This is a pro forma invoice. We can still go in, make any changes, and then we can choose when we want to release this and then issue this out. And then with this pro forma invoice, again, you've got that opportunity of, do you want to maybe send something out ahead of time out? Let's take a quick look at playing where you win as well too. So how do you do that by having a system like Acumatica? I mean, it really comes down to being able to track the opportunities and the project quotes that you're issuing out. I'm looking at all those estimates and what's winning. So I'm going to jump into the project quotes from the dashboard here. And we'll take the first one. What you're going to see on here is, first of all, that this is a quote number and it's associated to an opportunity in the CRM. It's embedded in Acumatica as well. Status on this one is closed. The reason is that this one was won and it moved forward. We'll take when we open up the quote, what you'll see is that it's very similar to what's being done in the project when we're looking at those. And everything from this project quote, when you win, if you use this button to convert to project, then transfers over. So as you're doing your estimation, determining what all of your costs are, and going and doing your work breakdown structure, you can do all of this then, first of all, during that quoting process and have this come through. You'll see that this one too was constructed using a project template. So recognizing that we often repeat the kind of work that we're doing, rather than having to construct this by hand, we can set up some templates to ease that and make this estimating process a little bit quicker. You'll see here that this is related to an opportunity. So once again, if we're using the CRM, then we can see how many opportunities do we have in the system and how frequently are they closing. We can see how many quotes are we typically having to issue for every opportunity, and then how many of those are actually converting to projects. So in this case, this quote number was the primary quote for this opportunity. And then it did get converted, and here's the project that does exist now, that's where this is already going through. If we take a look at the list of quotes here, you can see that we can have some of these are going to be against the same opportunity more than once, and this is where we do have that primary. So in this case here, we've got a couple of quotes against the same opportunity. You can issue as many as you want, but then obviously as we're capturing this, we've got that ability then to later report on this and see where are we winning, how are we doing on these. One last item to cover here, and that is the communication to and from the field. So for this, talk a little bit about some of the project management that you can use and do within Acumatica. And when I click on the project management section, what you'll see is we do have the ability here to be doing the drawing logs, the photo logs, all the project issues. All of this can be captured. And then we do have the daily field report that can be coming out of this as well too. So we'll first of all take a look at this just from the desktop, and then I'll pop up a phone screen as well, so you can see that the same is available from the app. I thought we'd just take a quick look at the daily field report here, and we'll just grab one here that's been completed. This is it's like a little bit old, but it'll certainly give you the idea. And you can see then that the daily field report is bringing together everything that's going through. We've got the labor, we've got the change requests, the change orders that are coming through, any project issues that have been recorded. And then, of course, then we can go ahead and print the daily field report so that this can go out to your customer as well too. One of the nice things about Acumatica is it does have the ability to have this sent right away by email as well. So it's not like you need to be printing this and doing physical copies. We can just use the send button to send this out. And one last item, once again, I'm being warned here. I'm at a quarter to the hour here, but we'll take a quick look then at just what this looks like. So let me stop the share for a moment. We'll show this from the phone screen and then I'll hand this back. Okay, let's see if we can take a look at my Android phone here. Derek, is that coming up okay?
Yes, that's it. I can see it clearly.
Great. So you can see that I've gone into the project management section. Oops, it is going to make me log back in again. And so because I've got this on an Android phone that has a fingerprint reader, rather than having to type out the password on this, I can use any of the features that are built into my Android phone then as well. I'll just take a second to log in. And now I've got all of that functionality. So things like doing the time and expenses, taking a look at the projects, but what we're going to highlight right now is the project management. Again, all of those things we were just looking at from the desktop in terms of the drawing logs, the photo logs, they can all be recorded from here. They can all be viewed from here. Things like the daily field report, then if I'm wanting to look at that same one that we were just looking at, now it's being optimized so that I can take a look and see again what's going on from this. Again, the change requests coming through, any project issues, anything from the subcontractors as well. Okay, so let's go back to the deck, and I know we've got a couple more things still to talk about. Okay, so really quickly, it's a little bit of a side topic here, but something that we wanted to make sure we shared is, for any of those of you who are not aware of, is there's a program being offered right now called the Canadian Digital Adoption Program, or CDAP for short. And this allows really all companies to take a look at what are the opportunities to go and to bring in some digital technologies to improve the business. There's been an allocation of $4 billion of funds that have been put through to this. You can apply, first of all, to the CDAP program. And when you do this application, you first of all are eligible for a $15,000 grant to have an analysis done of your business, to take a look and see where can opportunities be made. And then based on that digital plan, and when that goes through, your organization can then apply for up to a $100,000 interest-free loan, interest-free for 6 years. And this is a service that the Answer Company offers. We are a Canadian digital advisor, and absolutely something that we can help your organization out with. Derek, real quickly, I'll hand this back to you just to talk about the Answer Company.
All right, thank you. So yeah, let's talk a bit about the Answer Company, and I'll keep this to probably less than 5 minutes. So just so you know that, like I mentioned earlier, the Answer Company has over 800 customers in the construction industry. And I wanted to highlight one of our successes, one of our customers that we have, which is REMCAN. And REMCAN is a full service national railway contractor. Now, before they met with the Answer Company, they had some issues. They were unable to capture data automatically in their systems. They were challenged with providing accounting historical reports. They had manual processes with lots of paper, right? And I'm sure a lot of you can can see similarities in your business. And it was also impossible for them to scale without adding more staff. So at us at Answer Company, we met with them and we listened to their issues, and we recommended Acumatica as one of the right solution for them. After introducing them to Acumatica, they have seamless integration to all their systems with robust mobile application functionality through, like, for all their field service workers and within their office. They can also now process over 2,000 invoices monthly without any issues. And financial reports are much easier to produce, like no issues with looking up historical reports. They can find them all. Lastly, and most important, they have an increase in employee satisfaction, which allows them to retain the knowledge and continue to drive growth in their business. So a bit about the Answer Company itself. The Answer Company has been in business for over 29 years and has built a successful business with over 2,000 customers, and over 800 of those customers are in the construction industry. With over 200 team members, employees, and 7 offices across North America, you can be assured that you will get the highest level of support and satisfaction with the Answer Company. Answer Company, partnering up with Acumatica, we're the #1 construction partner in North America. Over the years, we continue to grow, and we have an annual growth of over 115%. The reason why we've done that is because our customers have tremendously, they have tremendous gains in their business and continue to innovate with us. The Answer Company has continued to receive numerous awards and accolades. This is because we are committed to developing a high trust, positive work culture where employees can grow, flourish, and continue to be organized. Our employee satisfaction is reflected in our high retention rates and the number of long-term staff that we have. And we have many staff members that you can work with that have been here for a long time and will understand your business. I also want to mention we are proud of some of the social responsibility that we are doing, and we've launched the program in 2015, where we donated or devoted over 25,000 hours to charities across Canada. Lastly, I want to talk to you about what the Answer Company stands for. What's our purpose? And our motto is, we propel companies forward. This is more than just a tagline. It's our North Star. It's the way we organize our principles around our company. It propels our innovation and helps us forge strong connections with you, our customers. And this is one of the things we're proud of. Okay, so I think this leaves us enough time for some Q&A. And we can open this up for some questions. And we have our other panelists online to help you answer your questions.
So yeah, I do see a couple of questions in the Q&A that we can address to begin with. And as Derek said, we do have some specialists from the industry, people that have been working with construction companies for a lengthy period too, here to answer any deep dive ones we might get into. So the first one that I'm seeing in the Q&A is, are you integrated with Procore? And yes, we absolutely are. We do have customers using both Procore and Acumatica. We've given you a quick little glimpse of some of the project management functionality that's available inside Acumatica. Obviously, there's some overlap there with some of the things that can be done in Procore. If you are using Procore, it's absolutely integrated, and we can actually provide a map of exactly what that integration looks like. And I believe that's available on our website as well to view. And then I've got another question here. What are some telltale signs of when to consider a digital transformation project? At what point should I consider incorporating a more sophisticated financial management system? This is a great one because it always comes down to, have I waited too long, or am I jumping the gun here? It really does come down to a little bit in scale, and I would say a little bit in terms of the pain. that you're facing. Because if you are a very small construction company, you are maybe yourself and a couple of employees, then manual systems may not be such a big problem. And doing a bit of transcription between some spreadsheets or even some paper sheets and QuickBooks may still be manageable. I guess what I would look at is how many of those problems that we highlighted are really coming out and are really keep causing you to lose sleep at night. If you are in that situation and where really this is echoing a lot of the things that you're facing, these are some key issues that you're facing in terms of keeping your business successful. That's probably the right time to start doing some investigation. And as we said, the CDAP program is there to help companies to answer that as well. So you may want to consider going and doing that digital adoption evaluation in order to determine if it's the right time. What roles are critical for a successful implementation, and what does that process look like? We do have some information on this that we could share to show you exactly what our project process looks like. And absolutely, there are some key roles. What I would say is that you, first of all, need to make sure that all of the key areas are represented by really what we would think of as project champions. So, whoever is going to be managing the finance and accounting side of things and has that deep understanding of that, they need to be a part of that project team. We also need to have those, at least one of, your key project managers that really understands what's going on in the field. What are some of the key things that we're facing there, and looking at really every part of the business. Perhaps we'll see somebody from AR because that's one of the key areas that we're trying to manage. But you do need to budget for those people. And we will be mirroring that then from our side, where we'll be bringing in people that are specific to the construction industry that have been doing this for many years and know exactly the kind of problems that you need to fix. And we may bring in additional people too to assist with things just like doing your financial reporting. We need to have some additional custom reporting done. We have people that are specific for that as well. I will say that we see this as an iterative process. First of all, for the original project, and then subsequent to the original project as well, too, where we're going through with your assistance, defining the use cases in terms of everything that needs to work and how it needs to work within the solution, going through and testing, and then potentially tweaking and making changes. And as I say, we're first of all doing that for your initial go live. And then really what we're hoping to do is to continue to scale up the business and then to keep on looking at what are some more ways that we can streamline. What's the next gain that we can make? So we like to get a system in quickly and at as low a cost as possible to begin with, so that you can start getting some gains and some benefit from that system, and then continue to try to propel forward from there. I think there's some items in the chat as well as the Q&A. Looks like this is, these are just some directions. So if there are any other questions, please add them into the Q&A and we can try and take them quickly. But I guess we are just about at the end of our time here as well. Okay, well, with that being said, I think we've snuck in just in time then, and we'll just quickly pop up our contact information here then.
Yeah, and please feel free to contact us if you're looking for some more information, like to schedule some time with us, do a discovery call. We're allowing us to understand your needs and better show you the products and solutions that can help your business, as well as the CDAC program, we can definitely talk to you about all of that.
All right, thanks so much for sharing your time with us today. We hope that some of the information that we've shared is helpful to you, and we look forward to chatting with you soon. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, everyone. Bye now.